Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, I want to teach you the tricks to make intermittent fasting easier. If you're like me, I want the shortcut to the best result, and on this video, I'm going to show you how you do that with intermittent fasting. But let me start off by just welcoming those of you that are new to my channel. I'm excited to share all I know about fasting. I'm excited for you to step into a fasting lifestyle. I am on a mission to get 1 million people here this year tapped into fasting. It is such a cool tool for healing. And those of you that keep coming back for more, I just want to say thank you so much. You guys are incredible. Our community is incredible, and I love sharing this information with you. So I've got 3 key strategies that I recommend to make intermittent fasting easier. So let's break these down. First, if you're new to fasting, don't pull the bandaid off quickly. I really believe that if you've been living in the sugar burner energy system your whole life, the hardest way to start fasting is just to jump in and do it. Now, I have found men can do it that style a little bit easier than women because we're more hormonally sensitive. So if you have a friend and he's a man and he just started intermittent fasting and he lost 20 pounds, he's probably more hormonally simple, I don't know another way to say that, than a woman. We're much more complex when it comes to our hormones. So I like this approach. When you start intermittent fasting, make sure you're backing your way into this. And what that looks like is you just start to push your breakfast back an hour. Get a little uncomfortable there. Once it gets easy, then push it back another hour. And then once that's easy, push it back another hour. Before you'll know it, you'll be at 13 to 15 hours. It may take you 3 weeks, 4 weeks to do that. Totally fine. There are no awards won for the fastest person to implement a fasting lifestyle. So be slow and methodical about it, and your body will respond in a very positive way. So make sure that you're pushing that breakfast back and you're slowly stepping in. The other really trick on this particular topic is that I want to make sure you're not leaning into the processed standard American diet junk food when you are eating. Make sure you're taking out those refined carbohydrates. They will make intermittent fasting so much easier, and the bad oils as well. Okay, the second step on how do you make intermittent fasting easier, and I love this one, is that you're going to drink your way into ketosis. Okay, what does that mean? So for starters, one of the biggest challenges we have when we come to fasting is this, the mind chatter. So I recommend that you walk around with water bottles, coffee cups, tea. Like in the beginning, when you're not eating and the mind is going, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why did you decide to do this? Pick up some water, lean into an extra cup of coffee. Maybe the second cup is decaf. Maybe lean into some tea. Now, there are some drinks that I really like that will make fasting easier. So let me share you a couple of them. For starters, this is a new product I've been using for the last several months, and I love it. So it has monk fruit in it, so I'm finding for me, it doesn't spike my blood sugar as high as like a drink that would have coconut sugar or regular sugar. So you can try Organifi's red juice or green juice. The links will be in the companion guide, so if you want the links to those, just put companion guide and we'll make sure you get the link to that. The other trick that I really like is LMNT's mineral packets. I've been opening these up and just putting them in whatever I'm drinking. I put it in my coffee, put it in my water bottle, and sometimes just a different taste has my brain sort of thinking that I'm eating. But it also is giving me minerals, and you need to be mineral rich in order to succeed at fasting. And the majority of you are mineral depleted because our soils are depleted. So I personally like the raspberry salt or the citrus salt. Put those in a cup. If it's 10 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to go an hour later, try tricking the brain a little bit with a little flavor in your water. Okay? Other hacks that I've done and that we really love, I don't have a sample of it here, is putting MCT oil in your coffee. This is really important because it moves you much quicker over to the fat burner energy system. So MCT oil is incredible to get your body making ketones and making ketones quicker. So once you start to make ketones, ketones will go up into the brain and they will turn off the hunger hormone. So now let's give you the big picture. You're pulling refined carbohydrates out, you're slowly pushing your breakfast back an hour, and then you're drinking your cup of coffee with some MCT oil in it. My personal favorite MCT oil is called C8 by Bulletproof. We'll put the link in the companion guide. And you're putting that in your coffee in the morning. Make sure your coffee is organic and mold-free. We also have links to the right coffee in this. This is not about going to Starbucks and putting in C8 oil. This is about making sure it's toxic-free coffee. That's in the companion guide as well. And sometimes when I first started fasting, I was like gripping that cup of coffee. I was like, oh my God, let me get another one. And I was trying tea. And in the beginning, all of that is really important because you're training your body to operate from this fat burning system. So drink your way into ketosis. You're not eating your way into ketosis when you're starting to intermittent fast, but you're drinking your way into ketosis. Okay, third step. And as I'm telling you this, I'm thinking, this may be my most favorite YouTube video I've done yet on intermittent fasting because these are my favorite hacks. The first two that I just told you about, but the third one is definitely my favorite hack, which is you gotta boost oxytocin. So if you haven't heard me say this before, oxytocin controls cortisol, cortisol controls insulin, insulin controls your sex hormones. So when you come to fasting, you're trying to have an impact on insulin. If you're struggling to impact insulin and your blood sugar, you're going to need to manage cortisol. Well, let's put this into action. A lot of you guys come to fasting and you're like stressed because you're not getting into ketosis, you're stressed because you're hungry, and you're just spiking that cortisol. And as cortisol goes up, it's really hard to manage insulin. And if you can't manage insulin, you can't manage glucose. And if you can't manage glucose, you're not getting into ketosis. So we've got to have some hacks for helping cortisol when those stress moments come in. And how you can do that is by getting boosts of oxytocin. Oxytocin controls all of that. Okay, how do you get boosts of oxytocin? Well, let's say it's 10 o'clock in the morning, you're trying to go longer with your fast, you're irritable, you're hungry. Go find one person that you love. If they're local to you in the same room, go give them a hug so you can get some oxytocin to bring cortisol down. If they're not local to you, pick up the phone and tell them that you love them. Find somebody you can thank. Go into a state of gratitude. If none of that's possible and you're completely irritated by everybody, go find an animal. Is it a cat or a dog? And just pet an animal. If that doesn't work and you're like, I don't like animals, I don't like people, you can start by hugging yourself. Just give yourself a big hug. That alone, or stroke your own skin and just soothe yourself. That alone will help to boost oxytocin. So look for oxytocin hacks so that you can bring cortisol down so you can make fasting a lot easier. And as always with oxytocin, my favorite oxytocin hack is to live your life in community. So if you need more help with your fasting, you're struggling managing blood sugar, join me in my Reset Academy. We have an incredible group of people that are really diving into the principles of fasting. We're teaching women in there how to fast around her cycle and through menopause. So all you gotta do is put Reset Academy in your comments and my team will send you a link for that as well. So, but those are my favorite, and third being my most favorite, which is raise your oxytocin. And as always, don't give up on yourself. You're born in a miracle, and fasting will prove that to you. So enjoy the ride.